I'm in the city, we bringing it home, you know what I said, eh? 2 up, 2 down, yeah, that's the state, but I'm from the town, eh?
Alright, so when I left off, Miss Lisa had just told me, Dean, you know, you more than this job. And I took that to heart. I actually go home, I actually tell my wife what Miss Lisa said, and I'm like, yo, you know what? I realized at this point in my career, I got real comfortable. I mean, I had been at that job as a juvenile intake officer for about 3 years. And I was 26 at the time. I started the job when I was 23. And I got real comfortable. Like, I felt like I achieved my goal, quote unquote, real early. And I was cool with just being there. I wasn't striving for more. So, spoke to the wife and was like, yo, what? I need to grow. I said, I need to grow. That was basically the conversation, but I didn't know how. I didn't know what to do past that. I stated the facts. I'm like, yo, I got my bachelor's in criminal justice. Maybe I should do something in criminal justice. I didn't know what to do with my career, but it was bothering me. This is where I kind of go on the full on. Everybody done been there. You go on the full on. Shoot, I'm looking at job applications and seeing what I can do. I used to do my work in the office. I had a computer right in front of me all day. So my free time between doing work, I was looking at what jobs was available, just like anybody else would. So I'm searching for weeks. Really nothing of quality is really coming across my face. I'm trying to utilize my degree. And one day, I come across a job application for a human trafficking task force coordinator position with the Attorney General's office. So the Attorney General, elected official, every elected official has their MO, or what they focus on. The Attorney General at that time, his MO was, you know, battling human trafficking, crimes against the elderly, offender reentry, and basically community outreach across the board on everything. They were starting up basically a task force to battle the quote-unquote human trafficking issue in the Hampton Roads region. To be honest with you, I knew absolutely nothing about human trafficking. All I saw was, I ain't gonna lie to you, all I saw was the salary, bro. And it was a nice size salary. It was actually a little bit more than double what I was making at the time. So I was like, hey, I don't know about human trafficking, but numbers like that, I'm definitely willing to learn. The cool thing about it was, we actually had a representative from the Attorney General's office, Mr. William Shackelford, shout out to Will, in our office. You know, he had an office in our building. He used to always be in and out, but Will was cool people, you know what I'm saying? He used to always talk, a little chit chat. We really weren't as cool as we are now back then, but that's the homie, for real. So I do the application, you know, and some time passed, and I say about 3 weeks after doing the application, I actually get a call for an interview. So I get a call for an interview, and shoot, me, you know, trying to get some leverage, I hit up Will. Me and Will weren't that cool, but I was like, hey, you know, my name Dean, my office right around the corner. I'm pretty sure, I mean, you probably remember me from walking past me all the time. But I actually did a application for a job with your organization. And he's like, which one? I said, the human trafficking position. I said, I got an interview in a couple days. He said, oh, that's what's up. He heard through the grapevine there was only like 4 people who got interviews. And over like, I think like 300, 400 people applied. So I was like, dang. Mind you, I feel dope because I'm only 26, so I'm like, yo, I'm getting these interviews with all these, you know what I'm saying, high profile type positions. I'm like, hey, maybe I might get lucky. He said, well, you know what I'm saying, go in there, tell them about yourself. You know, you just want to show that you're a self-motivated individual, because a lot of jobs with the Attorney General's office are all like, you know, grant-based positions. So you gotta kind of, it's nobody really telling you what to do. They tell you what they expect from you, but they don't really tell you what to do. You just gotta kind of be self-motivated and create. So I'm like, sure, I could do that. So interview day comes, you know, I got my basic shirt, tie, you know, I'm dressed decent. I go do the interview. I'm in there with a few people. Shout out a couple people. I was in there with Miss McMenemy, Melissa. I was also in there with Miss Mary Vale Ware, who was the director of programs for the Attorney General's office at the time. So I'm in there, regular interview, they talking, I feel comfortable. I think I actually have a gift. During interviews, I don't get nervous. Like, nothing knocks me off my pivot. And I think I give good answers. I know how to look people in the eyes. So I interview very, very well. I had the weirdest thing ever happen to me at the end of this interview that I'll never forget. So we interview, everything's done. Everybody's, nodding their head, smiling. I don't feel uncomfortable at all. And at the end of the interview, Mrs. Mary Vale, who was sitting to my right, says, "Hey, Dean, I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but if you don't get this job," when she said it, I was like, well, I guess I ain't get it. Like, that's automatically assumed that. But, I let her say what she had to say. She said, if you don't get this job, I want to ask, did you see our post about another position? I said, no, ma'am, I didn't. She said, yes, a reentry case manager position that we're putting together. I think you'd be a really good candidate for that position. And I said, me being optimistic, I'm willing to grow. So I said, sure, I'll be definitely down to listen to it. And she said, well, our reentry supervisor for the state, Mr. Devon Simmons, he's actually putting that together. I'm gonna get him in contact with you. And I said, cool. And I said my goodbyes. I say, thanks for having me. Everybody says bye. And they said they'll let me know the results of the interview pretty soon. So in my head, when I'm walking back to the car, I kind of write it off like, all right, I ain't get that human trafficking position. I call Will after the interview, and Will's like, hey, it is another position. She ain't lying to you. Like, it is legit. He said, Will kind of turned into spy mode for a little bit. Will says, I ask around, see how you did. See if you got it and find out more about that reentry stuff. And I said, cool, appreciate it. Will owed me nothing at that point in time. So Will, I want to say thank you for that because you owe me nothing. So weekend passes. This was a Friday. The weekend passes. Will calls me back. And Will's like, yeah, bro, I think they're going to go with another candidate on that human trafficking position. But they said you actually interviewed very, very well. Like, they was highly impressed with you. And the fact that Mary Vale even recommended you for that other position says a lot. So you should really keep on that. So I'm like, cool. So no harm, no foul. I didn't get depressed or anything. I was like, cool, it won't meant for me. 2 days later, I get a random call from a Richmond number. I'm like, hello? I'm like, how you doing? This is Dean. Who's speaking? And he's like, the person on the phone is like, hey, my name's Devon Simmons. I'm the reentry coordinator from the state with the Attorney General's office. He said, I heard you interviewed with us for another position, but I heard great things about you and I want to meet you. So I'm like, cool, sure. I'll set that up. So he was like, I'm going to be in town at Old Dominion for a function in a couple days. You mind meeting me, maybe at a restaurant or anything, so we can just talk for a little bit. Nothing too formal, just, I just want to meet you. So I said, sure. I used to live on campus, so I know it's a tropical smoothie on campus. I said, I can meet you at tropical smoothie at said time. And he's like, all right, bet, let's do that. I take leave that day to meet Mr. Simmons about a job I knew nothing about. So at the time, I'm treating it as though I'm meeting any other person. When I meet people, I don't get too gassed up on yo, I'm meeting this person. Yo, at the end of the day, the dude was a voice on the phone. I'm meeting him for an opportunity for me to advance myself. That's how I treated it. I won't hype about nothing. This day, the day I meet Devon, is a day I never forget how I felt to look up. So what I mean by that is, at this point in time, I had been with my job as a juvenile probation officer for 3 years. I'll state the facts, bro. I'm a big dude. I'm 6'3". I'm about 250 pounds. So I stand out. I'm usually well dressed. I got in a situation where I was wearing a shirt and tie to work every day. So I'm pretty well presentable. So whenever I'm out, around people, I typically stand out. You know what I'm saying? For that reason alone. Look at this big ass dude, this big ass black dude dressed nicely. Who is this? I kind of got that vibe. And on top of that, the most important thing to me was I'm young. So out of all the people I was working with, in my specific team, I was the youngest person at my court service unit. But I was a great worker. My age had nothing to do with my work ethic at all. I go meet Devon, and that's normal. I'm presentable. I got a shirt, tie, some khaki pants, some dress shoes. You know what I'm saying? I'm dressed decent. I'm not dressed amazing, but I'm dressed decent. I lie to you not, bro. I walk into that tropical smoothie and I'm like, I never seen a picture of the dude. So I'm like, I'm trying to identify who he is. So I look left, I don't see nobody. And I look right when I walk in tropical smoothie, bro. And I lie to you not, bro. I see this dude. I'm 6'3". I see this cat, bro. Black dude, beard, 6'4", long dreads come down past the shoulders, suit fresh as hell, like nice ass dress shoes. And that was probably one of the first times, bro, in my life that I seen somebody and I felt intimidated. And I don't get intimidated easy. I was like, bro, who is this cat? Like, this dude dressed clean as hell. Like, because I'm usually the person that get that reaction out of people. So when I saw him, I'm like, damn, bro, like, who is this cat? Like, I gotta know this dude. Like, who is he? So he hit me with the wave. So I'm like, I guess this is what I'm looking for. So I sit down, you know what I'm saying? I get a smoothie, he get a smoothie, we talking. And he's like, I'm Devon Simmons with the Attorney General's office. And, you know, Mary Vale said it'd be great that we meet. He's like, yeah, I'm actually in the middle of putting a big project together. It's basically a grant project aimed at prisoner reentry. So I'm giving him my background. I'm like, yeah, I'm a juvenile probation officer. You know, I've been there for 3 years. I specialize in, you know, evidence-based practices and things of that nature. And he's like, yo, like, I could definitely use you. He said, you know, we still got open applications for the position. We just haven't found that right individual. But essentially, it's a partnership between the Attorney General's office, Norfolk Probation and Parole, Norfolk Department of Human Services, Norfolk Sheriff's Office, and ODU, basically aimed at giving, you know, reentry programming to individuals who normally don't qualify for it. So I'm like, bet. I'm like, this sounds like big, and I'm like, I definitely want to be a part of it. Like, this sounds like kind of up my alley because I want to grow as an individual. And he's like, cool. So he said, I'm gonna keep your contact information, and I'm gonna talk with some of the other people on the project because we still got to interview for the position. But I really, you know what I'm saying, I really like, you know, the talents that you may bring to our plan. And I'm like, cool. So I take his number down and I leave. I'm walking back to the car. I'm like, bro, like, who the fuck did I just meet? Like it was like meeting, no bullshit, bro. It low key was like meeting a senator. Like, that's what it felt like. So weekend goes past. This was another Friday meeting. Couple days pass. I don't hear anything. I think about 2 weeks pass. I don't hear anything. And then one day I get a call from Devon. I'm at work. I get a call from Devon. Devon was like, yo, I'm actually gonna be in town in Norfolk tomorrow. And I have, you know, I have a representative from Probation and Parole, and I have a representative from Human Services on standby. Would you be willing to do an interview tomorrow? And I'm like, sure, bet. I tell my supervisor what's going on. I'm like, hey, I need to take leave tomorrow. She's like, bet, do what you gotta do. I go in there. I meet the other counterparts on the grant. Shout out to Madonna Flores. And they like all look excited to see me. I don't know what Devon told them about me before I got there, but they all look genuinely excited to see me. So I sit down, we had an interview, I smashed the interview. Like, everybody all smiles, everybody's impressed. And I'm like, you know, is there anything else y'all need to know? They're like, nah, we'll be in touch soon. The next day, Devon calls me and was like, bro, they are highly impressed with you. We are gonna offer you the position. You know, I'm gonna work on salary and all that, you know, and I'll get back in touch with you with the numbers, but trust me, I mean, we're gonna bless you. I'm like, cool. So Devon gets back with me the following week. They offered me the position. It's actually substantially more than what I was making. But on top of that, it was the opportunity to grow like I was seeking. So I was making more money and I was growing. So it was a win-win. I get the job. I become a reentry case manager, leading a project in the city of Norfolk aimed at, you know, high-risk individuals returning back to society. Most jobs, when you get the job, you know, you get a handbook on exactly what you need to do. This was one of the weirdest situations ever. The first day for orientation, I actually had to drive to Richmond. So the Attorney General's office is in Richmond. I drive to Richmond, They're like, hey, we'll reimburse you for parking. I'm not used to paying for parking and stuff like that because it's not as, you know what I'm saying, the Chesapeake ain't as city. Chesapeake ain't as city as Richmond. Pay for parking, go in, I get my ID, I do paperwork, all that stuff. I meet the whole team. Everybody's dressed really, really, really nice. I feel like I'm basic as hell. But they're like, all right, Dean, so we've been in contact with some places in Norfolk. We got you an office, you know what I'm saying? We're going to get all this furniture shipped to your office. You're not going to be reporting to Richmond. You're going to be working out of Norfolk. But so everybody's up here, you're down there. And really, he didn't say it like this, but what he said was, bro, we really don't have a legit plan for your day-to-day activities, but you just got to make shit happen. So I'm like, cool. So I get an office out in Park Place. I'm at the rec center at Park Place, which is kind of rough area. I got my own office. They sent all new furniture. They put it together for me. Devon's driving down the check and show, make sure I got everything I need. And Devon's like, hey, long story short, we need you to go into jail, and we're gonna give you a list of inmates who, we've weeded out through a process that we feel would be real beneficial to this program. And you essentially need to go talk to them for no reason. They don't know you. They don't expect you to come. You need to go into jail, talk to them one by one, and get them all to join your program. So I'm like, bet. I got on a fly suit because Devon dressed clean. I'm like, yo, I instantly stepped my wardrobe up when I meet Devon. I felt like I had to step my game up. So the first day I go into jail, don't nobody know me. I walk into jail, tell them who I am, tell them who I'm with. They let me in. They're like, all right, I got this list. They let me know what block each inmate is on. They sent me a list of 7 people. It was a small list. It was 7 individuals. No, I take that back. It was 6 individuals on that list. I'm meeting these guys. These guys have absolutely no reason to talk to me. I'm just telling them like, hey, I'm Dean. I'm with the Attorney General's office. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not the police. I got a program that we're putting together. It'll get you out the block. It'll also benefit you and your family, you know what I'm saying, in preparation for you to go home. Would you want to be a part of it? Out of all 6 individuals, this is my first time going into jail. This is my first time going into jail. But I'm walking the hallways. I got motherfuckers in jail like, yo, who that, yo? Hey, that's a lawyer? Hey, who lawyer is you? I'm like, bro, I'm not a lawyer. I'm with the Attorney General's office. So I don't feel uncomfortable because, you know what I'm saying, I grew up in the area around these people. These people just happen to be locked up now. But that's the type of people I grew up around. So I wasn't uncomfortable. Like, it was nothing. Out of all 6 people I reached out to, I meet all of them one by one, introduce myself. They like, yo, who is you? I'm like, bro, I tell them the whole spiel. All 6 of them commit to the program. All 6 commit to the program. And I tell them like, hey, 2 times a week, guards gonna be pulling you out the block to come meet me, and I'm gonna be teaching y'all things that's gonna better y'all in y'all life. So I become a teacher in the jail. I become known as that dude in the jail with the program. That's basically what the dudes that's locked up call me. Hey, that's the program dude. That's the dude with the class. That first group, all 6 individuals actually graduated from the program. Wavy TV 10 did a news article on it.
In the past, they'd be cast-offs. Inmates thought it was unchangeable until now.
No, it's not like you go back home and everything is just how you left it. You're labeled as an ex-offender.
The 6, randomly chosen for the program, have spent years coming in and out of jail.
I actually uploaded that video a couple videos back. You gotta go find it. But that was the beginning. That was the first group. I actually graduated 4 groups out of Norfolk City Jail. Some people got good endings, some people got bad endings, but that was my opinion. That was the part I gave to Hampton Roads that I felt that nobody else gave. Like, that was my direct donation to bettering my community. And that's part 4, you know, of my life story. I met Devon Simmons, bro, who is the homie. Like, that's like big bro at this point. And I want to say thanks to Devon, because seeing Devon and meeting him and seeing somebody who was like me, who wasn't like power hungry. Like, Devon was not like a micromanager. Devon totally believed in my abilities. It was like having a big brother who was more established than me and wanted to see me succeed, but didn't like force it on me. Like even though, like, I mean, we technically would be in suits at events with the governor and the attorney general, like all these formal events. I'd be standing right beside Devon, and it would be nothing to look to him and talk about something as simple as like Jordans or music or I mean I actually got married before him, but talk about just not in detail, you know what I'm saying, our relationships, but just how we get better as individuals, as black males, you know what I'm saying? So for that, I want to say thank you, Devon, because you pulled something out of me that I thought I already had, but I definitely didn't have. So that's the end of the video. I'll get up with y'all.